And I think stepping from out of the bedroom, so to say,
Mm-hmm.
is a lot bigger of a learning curve than people realize. And your coaching helped me navigate that learning curve.
Yo, yo, Michael.
Joey Suki.
How are you?
I'm good, man.
Back
Greetings from
in the
Amsterdam.
Netherlands.
Back in the Netherlands, repping my New Jersey.
Yep, yep.
I'm in
Do,
process of moving, as you know.
yeah, and do you get those things custom made or how does this work?
It's actually Amazon. It's
Oh, really?
like, yeah, I found like this little listing that does it, and they're not that expensive, but they just get the job done because I like play shows in them, get sweaty. I'll even work out in them. So
Yeah, nice. I love the custom touch on it.
yeah, it's nice. Honestly, the when I post the videos with the Lusso on the back, like of me walking like on tour in different locations, they always get like pretty good views and engagement, and it's like it's cool content because then it gives me something to post like in the future, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You should get like a sponsor deal with that company.
Yeah, I should really look into getting like real Lusso jerseys made, honestly, at some point, like a proper material and
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Should be doable. Let's start with a brief introduction. Can you briefly introduce yourself and explain how you came across artist coaching?
Yeah, so my name is Mike. I am an artist from New York City originally. I came across the artist coaching, honestly, I think it was Instagram randomly. A mutual friend of ours, Rumor, who was an A&R at Revealed at the time, I was someone I was in touch with, and I believe he was working with you or one of your
Yeah.
co-mentors. And yeah, and at the time my career was just getting started, and I was in a place where I came from like a finance professional background, and music was always a hobby. So I had like a really normal life that now all of a sudden went to like full-time musician. And I noticed that that transition was a little more difficult than I was prepared for. And knowing like when I looked into your background and saw, you kind of came from the Revealed background, which spoke to me as a Revealed artist, and you used to tour and you kind of helped guys and other artists like myself. It was something I wanted to give a shot, and I'm happy I did.
Yeah, it's been over a year already, right? Or a year
Yeah,
from
I
now.
think, I think like March or April is the year.
Yeah,
One of
probably
those.
probably almost a year. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, nice. And can you still remember what your expectations were of a coaching program like this?
To be honest, I didn't have any. Mainly because I've never done any sort of coaching, even
Hmm.
in my previous life or even in school, rather. So I really had no expectations. I kind of, and admittedly, that was I should have had expectations because in the early days of it, I feel like I wasn't as proactive with getting out of it as I should have, and I eventually realized that. So yeah, but
Getting
in
out of
some
it.
ways that kind of was my learning process.
And what do you mean with getting out of it? Like, was that with your music or?
No, like with me, like I felt the first few sessions because like I think
Mm.
it was my lack of education with the concept. I kind of was almost looking for you to like give me answers to things that like, and it was after like the third session where I was like, I think I have to like really open up more and like pull this out of me. And when I started viewing it that way, it really opened the floodgates of what this relationship is now,
Yeah.
actually.
And how would you describe that relationship?
I don't know, actually. Good, yeah. I mean,
It's complicated.
you're someone I really respect and admire. What I think admire most about you is you are the opposite. You don't want the touring lifestyle, and I'm someone that is very much looking to face plant into that. And I, having come from your lifestyle and been unhappy with that, I respect and admire that you are happy in it and had lived the lifestyle that I'm now grateful to live, if that
Hmm.
makes any sense. And I feel like that reverse path, if it makes sense, is what gives you a cool perspective for someone like me, because like I'm 30 and everyone thinks I'm 21, mainly because I act like it.
Yeah,
So yeah, I value your perspective there and that
yeah,
experience you have.
that's nice to hear. And were you did you feel when you started coaching like were there certain goals you wanted to work on, or was it more like we'll just see how this goes?
Admittedly, it was a lot of see how this goes, but I very much, my main goal was navigating the transition from normal life to DJ life. I
Hmm.
would say was what I went into that, because you and I knew you had done the opposite. So I was like, I believe Joey will have good insights to me transitioning into what he used to do.
Yeah. Okay. Um, how do you feel coaching has helped you to achieve that goal?
I believe it's helped a lot, actually. I believe your industry perspective, your music mind, just your general knowledge of who's who, what's what, the little, slang ways that the industry works that the bedroom producer community doesn't always get to see. And I think stepping from out of the bedroom, so to say,
Hmm.
is a lot bigger of a learning curve than people realize. And your coaching helped me navigate that learning curve.
That's nice to hear. Thank you. Is there a specific moment you recall from one of our sessions where you had like a breakthrough moment, you could say?
Yes, actually. I don't remember when it was. It was either right before or after 80 2024's, so September November session.
Hmm.
It was something to do with like you finally like got me past the mental hurdle of the personal stuff on Instagram. And I
Ah,
for
yeah.
almost all of 2024, I overthought it, mainly cuz I get lost in the numbers game of social media. If it doesn't have 100,000 views and 10,000 likes, I'm upset and it's a failure. And you helped me finally get over that hurdle with the personal stuff. And it started in like phases, but there was one final moment where I was like, I think I know what to do now. Fuck it. And it was in that session.
Yeah. I actually remember that moment because
Yeah.
you know what's fun? Sometimes you just see something click with people.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
weird it's weird how that works because it's not like a physical thing, but you just see something happening in somebody's body language where you think like, oh, I think he got it. You know, like it just snapped.
And I'm like the perfect person for that because I'm Italian. I move, and plus I like can't
Yeah,
keep my opinion to myself. So you probably,
yeah.
yeah, you know,
Yeah, but that's what makes your authentic self so interesting, and that's why we talked about it, like bringing it more upfront to the socials and showing it to people because it's an interesting personality you have, which I love about you.
yeah. And I and it's funny to tie it into what you said about how we work together. Your personality is like the exact opposite, but it
Yeah.
somehow works. And I also you mentioned something. Oh, what did you just say? I was just going to make a point of.
About what?
Nah, keep it. Whatever. I forgot. I lost my train of thought.
Okay. What's some of the biggest changes that you've noticed in your career since you started with coaching?
I mean, that's an easy answer for me because I started my coaching pretty much 2 months after my career started. So I guess everything. I went, yeah. I mean, like I said, the bedroom producer transition to career is a lot harder than people realize on the personal side, mental side, financial side, actual like what do you do at 9 a.m. in the morning on the Tuesday side, so a lot of that change. And yeah, and once I kind of got my head around June, July, a couple months in, about around that time frame, I said when I finally, I think, started having the right mentality to get the most out of this was yeah, when every session I came in prepared with things I knew I wanted to discuss that, yeah, each led to, I think, better ways of doing things. Especially, I mean, it was all happening at the same time for me, so it was good timing.
Yeah, true. I tend to say that as well. Like coaching becomes valuable at the point where you're kind of on the verge of breaking through, as in when you've put in the first years yourself, and you're kind of you've built that fundament yourself, and then once you kind of get to that level where you feel like it's getting into reach of making a living from music, that's where coaching becomes interesting. And you were right at that moment a year ago.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I would say that's somewhere before and after a little bit of that period in someone's
Yeah.
career is really when it's most transformational and impactful. And I kind of knew that. I was like, I feel like this could be good for me. I don't know what it'll do. And that was kind of also my mentality too. And I believe that is something artists need to be more of. I think people get too risk adverse or comfortable or whatever. And that was something like I was uncomfortable doing this. Like, I'm going to be honest. It's
Hmm.
not because of you or anything. It was just I've never done it. I'm, paying this guy I don't know from fucking Walwick or no,
Tilburg.
Tilburg.
Yeah.
And yes, but like that was part of the beauty of it to me. And now here we are,
Yeah. Yeah, it's asking for help is something most people are not necessarily comfortable with, because you tend to feel that you should do it all by yourself.
Yeah, and
And
you can't. That's like the number one thing I could say that I
yeah,
learned of this.
yeah, as you said, it's complicated. An artist career is complicated. There's so many elements. It's the personal side of things. It's the business side of things. It's all those things intervene because you are the product, right? This little face is the product.
Hmm.
So that makes it all very complicating because you also have to deal with your emotions and with your mind. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting.
very.
Would you say that coaching also helped you with your personal development as a person?
Yeah, definitely. Because I think mainly, I think it's specific to this job. Being an artist, I think is so tied to who you are as a person. It's almost one and the same. And you force you what's the word? Inspiring me to do more personal content is proof of that. So yeah, I think the journeys are the same.
Nice. Um, what do you think makes artist coaching unique from others?
I haven't had other coaches,
Hmm.
but knowing what I know about other coaches, I think it comes down to your experience and obviously who you also have. I think Jay and Ralph or Yupka and Ralph are very awesome guys. One, and they both have industry experience in different lanes. Ralph more of a producer, Yupka being touring. So I think that experience for someone like me is invaluable.
Yeah, yeah, and I think you use our services in the best way possible because we can offer a service, but if you don't really use it in the best way possible, if you compare it to fitness, a fitness coach, we can give you all the advice on how to get fit, to what to
Yeah,
eat, what to do as a workout. But if you don't do it, it's not going to work at all. And that's
one hundred percent.
how it's with this coaching as well. Like you're very close to the ball, as in you're in close contact with us. You're in close contact with Ralph. With like you're close to the source, I would say, and I think that's very helpful. What not everyone realizes, but that might be one of the most valuable things you can get here.
Agreed. Yeah, and it was also part of what made me make the decision to work with you was who you had, and I think I said this was who you also had as part of your team because it was Yella who told me recently that Yella Kaiser, who's an A&R at Revealed, very awesome guy, one of my favorite guys in the industry. He told me that this industry is a people's industry, not the music industry.
Yep.
And when I was looking at artist coaching, I saw the people that were involved. And despite not knowing them all personally, I knew everyone's reputation and what they're involved in. I'm like, this honestly just looks like a great team, a great family, and it's something that I want to insert myself in and try to be a part of. And 11 months later, I'm very happy I am.
There we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what are your future plans, and how would you see coaching part of that?
I think no different. I feel like life is like a video game. I was a big video game guy in the back in the day, so the metaphor makes a lot of sense. And this is also ties into the bedroom to full time career transition that I think I think a lot of people think you get to a certain level or you get signed or you get an agent and that's it. And it's just you keep walking the path, and that's not the case. It really is like it's levels like a video game, and getting out of the bedroom is level 0, and then you're at level 1, which is way harder than 0, and then once you get your first tour you're at level 2, and then you have to have your first. And it's I think the continuation of my coaching is the continuation of coaching me through those levels, and
Yeah.
you got me through level 0 and 1, so to say, and level 2 is a lot harder. So yeah, that's where I see it fitting in.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thanks for taking the time to do this, man, and thanks for sharing your story and your experiences. Hopefully, it's helpful for anyone watching or listening to this. And yeah, looking forward to keep working with you in the future.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It was a good chat, and yeah, excited for the next year.
See you, man. Bye bye.
Talk to you.